And before your time as well, do you know if Zandile Khumalo identified somebody as suspect B at that ID parade?
No, I don't have a recollection, my lord. Otherwise, I'll have to double check, but I don't have a recollection, my lord.
With certainty, Brigadier, and I'll allow you to consult the relevant pages or the relevant 329 ID parade procedures that were held in respect of Mr. Mbaka. Zandile Khumalo pointed at somebody else at that ID parade.
My lord, I was not there. As I said, that was before my time. They didn't conduct that ID parade. I did not participate in it. I was not even the investigating officer, so I'm not sure how really can assist, whether she did or did not. I was not there, my lord, and it was before my time.
It may not assist you, Brigadier, but it will assist in a long way, Mr. Ntanzi, because the same Zandile Khumalo came here, sniffles, crocodile tears and all, pointing at Mr. Ntanzi, saying he's suspect B that she saw at the house on the 26th of October 2014.
As a court, please, my lord, we really don't want to interfere with Marlene's friend's cross-examination, but two aspects. Firstly, Brigadier Gininda testified about the additional evidence or the new evidence. Now he's been cross-examined about aspects that he didn't testify about.
To be fair to you, and partially so because you are the IO, you are privy to the entire contents of that docket. You are the ship, the commander of that ship. But I'll be fair to you, I'll argue that point correctly. But that Zandile came here crying and all sorts of acting here, it did happen, and I'm unapologetic about that.
So that is the question that is being posed by Advocate Ramsipili during this cross-examination. And Advocate Ramsipili just touched, on a critical testimony that was given by Zandile Khumalo at the Meyiwa trial. And that testimony by Zandile, it carried significant emotional weight, because the thing is that Zandile Khumalo appeared in court visibly distressed, crying and pointing directly at Bongani Ntanzi and claiming, that Ntanzi was a suspect B, that is one of the men that she had allegedly seen at the Khumalo house. The thing that happens, is that moment in itself, it was intended to reinforce the credibility of an in-court identification. So the prosecution, they leaned heavily on that dramatic performance. It was definitely, a dramatic court performance by Zandile Khumalo, and the prosecution, they leaned on that to anchor their case, and they created, a lasting impression on the court. However, the emotional nature of a testimony, that is Zandile Khumalo, it did not automatically translate into reliability. That's the challenge that then came out, because in a legal context, consistency and prior procedures, they matter immensely. So what undermines Zandile Khumalo's credibility was the existence of a previous ID parade that was conducted before Brigadier Gininda became involved. Now, Zandile Khumalo's actions, they were questionable back then. And in this instance, Advocate Ramsipili is directly challenging this point, asking whether she had identified Bongani Ntanzi at that earlier event or not. But you all heard Gininda, Gininda dodged the responsibility, that is the question, by stating that he has no recollection and was not present during that ID parade. So it leaves a major gap in the record, because if Zandile Khumalo failed to identify Bongani Ntanzi earlier and identified someone else entirely, that raises serious doubts now about the reliability of a current in-court identification. So in as much as she brought, that dramatic court performance, it still undermines, her reliability because she failed initially. So no matter how much emotional Zandile Khumalo can get, how much Zandile Khumalo can perform, there's a lot of inconsistency. So this inconsistency, it strikes at the heart of a fair trial rights. The identification of suspects is one of the most critical elements in any criminal case, particularly when eyewitnesses are involved, because courts are aware that human memory can be suggestible and identifications made under pressure, emotional duress, or influenced by outside factors like seeing the accused in the media can easily be flawed. So now with Zandile Khumalo's case now, the absence of a consistent identification trial, especially if no positive ID was made during the earlier, more controlled parade, it opens the door to allegations that a courtroom statement was coached, influenced, or reconstructed in hindsight. That's what it then ends up happening. It ends up opening, that door, that room for questioning, for argument. So further on, what then complicates, Zandile Khumalo's position is the fact that the state appears to have bypassed, several standard procedural safeguards. If, like, her initial inability to identify the suspect was not recorded or disclosed transparently, and if there was no follow-up or effort to correct or verify that earlier uncertainty, then the state may be seen as selectively presenting only the portions of a narrative that support their version of events. So that's the challenge that then ends up happening, because it's like Baloyi and Gininda are only presenting, the version of the events that is supporting whatever they are presenting. So this puts the credibility of Zandile Khumalo at risk, because courts may infer that the identification was a product of trial preparation rather than genuine recognition. So from a legal perspective, this also gives the defense a solid opportunity to argue that Zandile's in-court identification should carry little to no weight. Emotional testimony may sway public opinion, but in legal proceedings, what matters is consistency, corroboration, and procedural fairness, not emotions, crying, dramatic performance, etc. So if her earlier statements of behavior contradict her courtroom certainty, then her identification of Mongani Ntanzi could be ruled by Judge Rata as unreliable. So the defense might even argue that the state avoided the risks of a proper ID parade precisely because they feared it would result in a non-identification. So these are the things that are happening. So Zandile Khumalo's identification of Ntanzi raises more questions than it answers it, because her emotional courtroom testimony, as described by Ramsipili there, it creates a powerful visual for observers, but it is significantly weakened by the lack of clarity about her earlier actions. Because from a human perspective, the first time when Zandile Khumalo was put before an ID parade, that was the time that I think she should have been emotional. That was the time that she should have cried and did all that dramatic performance. For her to then do that dramatic performance now, it doesn't make much sense. The challenge, the reason why I would say that is because right now there are cameras. Right now the public is watching, everybody's watching. So the argument that can be presented is that she is like performing so that it can carry more weight because the public is watching, everybody's watching, we are all watching the trial. Like, why did she not perform, earlier on, first time when she first saw that? So that's the issue. So the court is now left to assess whether her dramatic testimony reflects truth or a narrative shaped by emotion or prosecutorial strategy. Her role in the trial now hinges on whether the court views her as a credible, consistent witness or a fragile link in a chain already showing signs of strains. This is my review, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.